Now, this world has many challenges in it, and sometimes we need to take a step back, sit and understand the challenges that some people go through for us to understand our own positions and how we cope and deal with our own challenges. Today I'm joined by Mymoena Williams, and she has an interesting story to tell. So she's got two children, two girls, and they were both born with Down syndrome. The interesting thing is that Down syndrome is caused by an extra or partial chromosome 21, and we also know that if we look at statistics in America, that out of 691 children, one child only is born with Down syndrome. The story here today is that Mymoena has got two, and they are twins, and that's a very rare case in the world. She's got a life full of challenges that she's facing, and we want to tell you that story when we come back. Welcome back. So we're talking to Mymoena Williams, and she's got a set of Down syndrome girls, and there's some challenges around all of that. We want to talk to Mymoena about her story and the inspiration behind her story. Mymoena, welcome to the show.
Assalamu alaikum.
Now, I know that when you contacted the show, I found it amazing that when we had a chat on the phone about some of the things and the challenges you're going through, that you have a very brave face through all of that, and we understand, like I said, the world has many challenges, and sometimes we get stuck in our own bubbles, and we sort of become overwhelmed by what we have to face. But then when we look at cases like yours, and you still smile about it, and you have this positive attitude towards all of that, I thought that it was only apt to have you on the show and talk about that, so that your story can serve as, number one, an inspiration to other people, and number two, I think that there are parents with Down syndrome children watching the show right now. Sometimes they maybe feel that the world is crashing in on them and they have one child. You have two, and you have a lot to share in terms of advice. I know that before the show you spoke about it all started that one day where the doctor told you something is wrong.
Yeah.
Tell us about that day specifically.
Yeah, that day I was a bit old because I suffer from, I'm an asthmatic patient as well. So I actually went to the hospital and I did a test because I didn't feel so well. So they said to me, the test is negative. They think I've got fibrositis. So they sent me to Grootskeer to have the fibrositis burnt off or something. But to the amazing, the doctor did the scan, and then they said to me, I've got twins. And I was...
And that was surprise number one.
Surprise number one, but I was in tears because I said, I've got twins, and it's a miracle just to have them. And then me and my husband was with me, and he also saw the scan, and then we were excited, we went home. And after that, I had to go for the booking. And when the booking, immediately they wanted me to go for counseling because of my age. And the twins, they did another... the counseling was about my age and the possibility that I would have the Down syndrome. That is when they introduced these.
Prior to that, what was your understanding of Down syndrome?
Prior to that, I used to walk past Down syndrome children, to be honest.
And it never crossed your mind?
Never crossed my mind, but not discriminating and not thinking that...
It just wasn't there. It wasn't something to think about.
It wasn't there. It was just, this was another challenge for me. Twins, it sounded exciting. And I just had to adapt because I already had 4 children of my own. So, yeah. And then with the counseling was a bit abrupt, because now putting these faces, they immediately open the book and they show it to you.
This was with a psychologist or psychiatrist?
These are counselors trained, they're doctors that work for Red Cross, and they are trained to do the counseling where they tell you they 1 out of 100 you would stand a chance because of your age to have Down syndrome children. So I don't understand really why they do that, but it made me feel very uncomfortable. So because I didn't have it in my mind to have Down syndrome, they put it there. So I went home and I got another date to do the scan. And with that scan, they...
Are you saying that at that point they had a notion or an idea that you might
I might.
Yes, correct.
But I think they do that to all the mothers who are in the bracket of the age.
The possibility.
Yes. Because they don't actually advise mothers to have babies at that time. So this is where I was introduced of things that I never even put my mind to it about what options they have. Because when the scan came, they told me, listen, your one child has got no nose bone and the other one has got amnio fluids in the abdomen. So that is the strong possibility that they can be Down syndrome.
So those were the wall marks, according to you.
So
what was your thoughts at that time? What were you thinking at that very moment when you heard that? Because
I didn't have an idea of Down syndrome, what I'm facing at the moment, I just listened. And then they started with introduction number 2, that was the abortion. They told me that you need to, because of the challenges, this is what's going to happen, and that is how the children is going to be. So you have an option of going for an abortion.
Okay, so okay, you're sitting now, and psychologists, psychiatrists sitting with you, doctors, and they're saying you need to go for an abortion. What entered your mind at that time?
I said, because I am a practicing Muslim, and my mother's taught me a lot with surahs is concerned. I'm also one of those Muslim ladies that recite 4 surahs every night. And I listen. I'm a person that listens, but I don't make up my mind about what people tell me about something.
You set on your own belief system, and you're going to follow that?
I'm going to follow that. So I decided to stay away. So I let him finish, but I don't think that this kind of counseling should carry on. Because
did you feel you didn't need it because you made up your mind that abortion is something that you're not going to consider?
No.
It's a big no.
I really decided when she introduced it to me.
You never perhaps thought that they were perhaps trying to sort of maybe just to get you to come to terms with the aspect that things might not be the same?
Yes, they told me all the negative stuff about Down syndrome. And and I decided then and then this is not going to be an abortion. You don't have the last say.
Did you know that your life is going to change that day?
No, because I was I was a bit depressed. So I wasn't thinking of anything else but how am I going to handle this, should it be, but also putting my trust in Allah Ta'ala. Because I know if I go on my Muslim and ask to make this easy for me, I would come up with an option. If it is that there would be Down syndrome, I would have to accept it. But the abortion was totally out of me.
Throughout the pregnancy, lying there at night, trying to fall asleep, what are some of the thoughts that hit your mind? Were you concerned? How's my life going to change? What about the family? What are the other kids going to say? Did these things cross your mind?
At the moment, we were also going through a difficult times at that time with we have, like everybody else's, we have these issues of housing and stuff like that.
The normal life first.
Normal life's challenges, yeah. But because I've gotten a positive attitude, where I'm also, where Allah Ta'ala is concerned, Allah Ta'ala is positive. So whatever happens, and if you are practicing Muslim, there should only be positive stuff going through your mind. So this is what keeps me going still. It motivates me. Yes, I also was afraid of being, how am I going to cope with the fact? But I didn't also think that Down syndrome, having the children that is Down syndrome, I was just thinking positive, so I was going to have these children, they're not going to be Down syndrome. So that was...
So you thought there's a possibility that the doctor's diagnoses are all wrong, and the day of the birth comes and it's all wrong.
That is only when the day of the birth, then I would know that this is it.
You wanted that affirmation?
Yes.
With your own eyes. So the day comes and they're born. What happened on that day? How did you feel about this? Because there was some level of preparation, but at the same time, I noticed that you were in some form of denial at the same time.
Yes, I was in denial because I went through a cesarean. All of my other children are normal births and healthy, but these 2 little girls look a bit different. Facial expressions, but there was also a bit of normality. So I looked and I didn't want people to see. So I was in denial, because also they told me that they might be Down syndrome, And then the other test showed that they're not because the nose bone was not visible and the abdomen, there was no fluid there. So I was going on with the fact that Allah Ta'ala answered my prayers now, they're going to be normal. But when they were born, the signs showed that they looked, their facial expression Down syndrome. So I was thinking maybe the one would be Down syndrome and the other one not. Because Fatima was fatter than Fauzia, so yeah.
But looking at all of that and looking at them there and thinking to yourself, okay, they do have the condition.
Yeah.
The motherly love and instinct, that is still there, am I right?
Yes.
Now, I can't relate to that because I'm not a mother,
Yeah.
but that's there, am I right?
Yeah, that's still there throughout the way, more than ever.
So irrespective to a mother, it's your children.
It's my children, yeah. So with my other children, this two little girls, Fatima and Fauzia, it taught me a lot. That each of my children individually, they're different. Because Fatima and Fauzia are different. They're identical split cell. And the doctor told me for the 40 years that they've been in practice at the Red Cross Hospital, it's the first time we've seen this. It's so very rare. And I've done some of my research that says that there's 8 in the world.
8 sets of
Sets in the world, so I don't know.
That's absolutely rare.
And Fatima and Fauzia is the only set in South Africa. And I've been sending out my emails because I come from a very strong background of fundraising. I'm trained to do fundraising in 9 provinces. So when I was with my challenges with them being sick and not getting the support, I looked at myself and I said, Mymoena, you're a fundraiser. You've got some skills. You need to be your own hero here because you're knocking on doors and all the doors are closed. Yes, you have got twins identical Down syndrome. And they're the only set of twins in South Africa, but nobody's coming to assist. Not even to come in to look, come in and to come and say, we want to see this little girl.
Are you concerned about what people are saying around you? Because I know that, and it's a sad fact and reality of life, that people on the side walk by and make comments and they say things that can be sometimes hurtful without thinking what they're really saying. Do you ever experience those kind of things?
I've experienced, yeah, for the 3 years with Fatima and Fauzia, yes, even direct family members, what did you do? What did you do to have these children?
Are you serious? What did you do to have those children?
To have these children? What is it? Is something that did, and they spread.
Sorry, I just want to be very frank about that. I find that whoever asks a question like that to be absolutely stupid.
Yeah, and that is how I found that the awareness of Down syndrome children, people.
How in 2016, with Facebook, Twitter, and all the social media in life, and all the information at your fingertips, how do you make a statement like that?
All I can say is what kept me positive, that Allah Ta'ala has given me these 2 children to look after, and that is how His mercy is upon me and my family. My husband is very supportive because when they told me that you can't leave the hospital, you need to do a check because they need to go back on the records that they did tell me that these children might be Down syndrome, and I wanted to run away without them I just wanted to take them away and hide the fact that they are Down syndrome, because now I knew, I could see they Down syndrome. And he said to me, why are you crying? So I said, no, they going to keep them because they Down syndrome and I don't want them. And he said, it's fine, man. And because he had a little bit of knowledge, he said to me, just look into their hands. Now if you have the straight line going like that, then they Down syndrome. So he had the knowledge of that, but he's always been my support structure where they are concerned. So that was a challenge. And then, as you said, yes, the people has been calling them names, Mongols, just niet so in Afrikaans. Jy kan sien jou jy's net so crazy when your kinders is crazy.
Are you serious?
Seriously. So
I mean, those kind of people need to get a wake-up call.
Our people are, but we can't. I still am positive. I cannot blame them, because we're going out there with the clinics and knocking.
So obviously you take it as you make those comments. The problem is with you. The problem's not with me. You keep the problem. It's fine.
Yes, because like now I've been given the.
If there's anyone that's crazy in this situation, it's the person that's making the comment.
The comment, yeah, because now they're judging your children like you want to put them in a school. So the mother takes the children out because my children is in that school because they're Down syndrome. Are they going to? Are they going to be?
Is it contagious?
Is it contagious? So and they take their children out because your child is there, and that is happening all over because they're ill-equipped of knowledge. You know.
I'm absolutely shocked at the type of things that I'm hearing, Mymoena. I didn't expect that society today And I want to express it for the third time, can be that backward thinking. Really.
It's like they're making your life difficult, try to make your life difficult, even though you're still trying to, why are you still smiling? You've got Down syndrome children. And because Fatima and Fauzia is always smiling, so they taught me to smile. Mommy, just look up. Fauzia's got this, when I speak to her, she cannot speak. She just looks up, just look up. And this is my saying, stop looking down on people, look up.
Interesting. Mymoena, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Mymoena about her challenges, her daily challenges. We know that, and we can see that she remains totally focused, totally positive throughout all of this that some people might deem as a negative situation. Then again, my view is that negative situations are in retrospect, and they're subjective and objective, and you can think about that while we're on the break. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the show. We've got Mymoena Williams on the show, and she's the mother of Down syndrome twins. It's a very rare condition where both twins actually have the same condition. We're going to talk to her about her daily challenges and life. Mymoena, welcome back.
I'm back, yeah.
Now, the interesting thing is, so we understand where it's all come from and how it's all happened. Tell us about a particular day, their temperaments. How do you do they communicate with you in a certain way? As a mother, do you understand what they're saying, what their needs are? How do you cater to those needs? Through the challenges, of course.
Through the challenges, yes. I can see when they haven't eaten. I maybe go out and I've left them with, they maybe go to school and they're not speaking to me. They haven't had their breakfast. So they don't speak. But because of, this is what I went about.
Is that normal of the condition that they wouldn't speak?
Yes, because of they have got the palate that's up. Yes, so it's going to take a time. So I don't rush. So I'm not like impatient on when are they going to speak, when are they going to
signs and
yes, they
show you what their needs are.
Yes, and that is why I hooked up with Al Waha Institute of the Deaf. They teach children recitals of Quran. So I do a little bit of fundraising for them. So that when it comes to, because the doctor said they slowly losing their hearing. And
is that part of the condition?
It's part of the condition. They have a thyroid problem where they have to take the medication every day because of the hormones is unbalanced. So when the hormones is unbalanced, they snap. So it goes to the brain. And
so the behavior might become erratic and that sort of thing.
Yes, because Fauzia is more, she needs a higher dosage because Fatima is like, we'll play with her and then she will just snap and smack her, so I have to manage that. And because they see me up and down working, they take out the clothing and they want to help and they want to help me clean the kitchen.
So you see this need in them to want to be like everybody else.
Yes, but because
but they're restricted, of course.
They're restricted. Like I'm staying, you stay with your own family, and they don't want to get involved with them because they're gonna dirty up the place. So you have to keep them. For a long time, I've been keeping them. We have a windy house, so we keep them there. So we let them do what they want to do, and this has brought some stability to their development because they are free, they're independent. I'm asthmatic, I cannot pick them up. So that is why they can walk, because the doctor said they will not be able to walk as quick as, but when the doctor sees them, they say, it's amazing work we've done. And yet society is still discriminating us as parents because of, what did you do? We're not going to assist them because why must we help them? They're not in such difficulty, but we're not asking. Also, we just want them to live with society as normal. And my children find that because of the ill-equippedness of society and neighbors, they tend to, the other word that they use is when they come back to say, for instance, they're in a fight or a quarrel, when they come back, are you then Down syndrome? That is what they use. Are you then Down syndrome? Because I've got Down syndrome children in the street, maybe.
I must be honest with you, through listening to you through this episode, I've probably become more and more angry and asking questions in my mind as to, so we're looking at these kids, talking about disabilities, But are people that make such comments and are people that oppress other people in society in this way, are you not disabled? That's the question that I.
That's what I'm
are you
asking.
not
Are
disabled?
you not disabled?
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Your thinking must be disjointed. You have an irrational way that you process your own thoughts. You are judgmental to the core. You sit there on the sideline
joke
making
about,
comments,
the way they
jokes,
speak.
correctness, and then probably act self-righteous on top of that. Obviously, there's something wrong with you and not the kids.
Exactly. So that is why I've got one incident that I was at SASSA because I do get a grant for them.
How do you cope with all of that? Because any condition that we sit with, and especially within the medical context in South Africa, where things cost a lot of money, and healthcare generally around the world for anything. You have a flu today, it's going to cost you a good couple £100.
To the doctor, I go to the clinic because I cannot go to Red Cross every day when there's something happens to them. And you are judged by the amount of money you get for these kids because what are you doing with the money? But yet again, Fatima and Faizal is 4 years old. They will be 4 next week, and they're on a nappy. And because they occasionally, I cannot go to Red Cross because we don't have transport. And financially, I'm now okay because I get a stipend. I work a little bit, you know, because then I send them to school. But still, people want to judge you on the money that you get for them. What are you doing with them? But then again, it's the rent. People don't want to take you on with your children because they're Down syndrome. But they don't know the joy. I've been sending out my emails to the minister as well. I haven't got no reply. I want them to see
Is
these
that the Minister of Social Development?
the Minister of Health, Social Development, and I actually want him to come and see my children. I don't want anything.
I'm going to attempt to put you in touch with the Minister of Social Development.
Because I want them to share. I want to share the joy to the world. So I'm looking at Fatima and Fauzia. I was at SASSA building, and then this lady's at the back of me. I lost my card, but I didn't have the twins with me, and I neither didn't have my phone. So they said, you know what? We're looking at Down syndrome children. These mothers are having they get the disability grant. So we're gonna imagine we must have 2, and I'm sitting in front, but they don't know me. Imagine we will be it will be like a salary, the one said, and to sê die ene nog, but ek sal nie met sulke mal kinders kan sit nie.
And you were sitting there.
I was sitting in front.
How do you take to those things?
Because I'm a bit involved with a support group of mothers, and I looked for the 3 years I've been at home. I looked at society and I see that what is the problem. So I'm not actually wanting to blame anybody, but I want to help with equipping them with knowledge. Because now I turned around and I said, I'm the lady who has the twins that's Down syndrome. And I said, and they felt so bad. And I said, it's fine. And they apologized. And I said, it's fine. I don't keep it against you.
Mymoena, we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Mymoena about some of the advice to other parents that have Down syndrome children that sometimes feels that the world is crashing in on you. We know that there are a lot of challenges involved there. But Mymoena's got 2. So she's able to give you some advice. Well, we're talking about Down syndrome twins and then the challenges that one faces dealing with children that have Down syndrome as parents. I brought in Mymoena Williams, and she's got twins, which is a rare case around the world. There's a limited pair around the world, and possibly the only ones in South Africa. I know that our number is on the screen right now. That's 021 in South Africa, plus 27021 2602. That's a way to get through to the studio. I want you guys to phone me and offer me some support. And we know that Mymoena requires, whether it's your service, your time, or whether it's some financial contribution, because she's got a challenge and a half to look after these children. So I want you to call the show. I want you to pledge something and put something down, because these challenges could be any of us. It could be you, it could be me, it could be anybody. I'm just going to now tail the show off with some advice by Mymoena in terms of what she has to offer other parents who find that their days might be difficult. Mymoena, what's your advice to other parents? We know that the balance of the parents that have Down syndrome children in South Africa probably have a single child, and that can be challenging. And we understand the challenges because you've highlighted some of the issues contained within the framework of this particular problem. What's your advice to them? Because you've got two.
I've got to, and to stay positive is one of the best. First, to acknowledge that you need to accept the fact that you have got these children.
So you can't run away from the situation. You've got to embrace it.
You cannot move forward if you do not accept that you have them. So you also need to have a vision for these children. Because if you don't have a vision, you're going to be stuck and just think that you're just there. Because I know all of those parents have skills, and you must look into yourself and see what you can offer, especially to the next person. And my biggest challenge is because I know now why I've gone through a lot of things in my life. So Allah Ta'ala has given me twins, because I think He knows me better than I know myself. I'm the best person for the job, and I'm able to help others in that way. So get up there and ask. Ask. People is not going to know if you don't ask. Tell them about. I've also, I've got the twins, but I also say, look at your situation. There's people in a worse situation than myself. So you must always think of yourself being in a better position than the next person. Because I've got a friend, Fatima, she's got one Down syndrome and he's been in operation. And then she's also challenged with her husband that's got cancer. So that makes my problem less than what is. So I'm just appealing to the community out there to just be a bit compassionate towards the mothers who have children with disabilities. Because
you're taking a problem and you're making the problem bigger by adding onto the problem as society. Here's a person with a challenge. You go and you make comments and you do all kinds of things. You're adding to the problem.
You're adding to the problem, but if you don't give a nappy towards that mother, or put your hand in your pocket, then I suggest you zip up.
Exactly, and I think that's excellent advice. Exactly, you know the situation. You're dealing with it.
Know what that person, because once you start discriminating and you push a door closed inside in front of that person that's coming out to ask, or just even ask, where can I go? And you don't even have a sadaqah smile for that person might be in a suicidal state. And then you find tomorrow in that newspaper that person has just killed herself and her children, but you want to know why. But then it's you that you just pushed away that person in your own way by not even giving a sadaqah smile or ran.
Correct.
You know? So this is an emotional part, because most of our mothers are not as strong as what I am. And you find most of our mothers are in mental institutes because they cannot handle the situation, because people are not helpful anymore. People want to judge because Allah Ta'ala has given you these children, and these are lovable children. They teach you how to love.
What's your message if they were watching the show now, the children? What's your message to them?
My children, or the Down syndrome, Fatima, Fauzia. They can sing, I would say.
I notice that you love them unconditionally.
Hey?
I notice that you love them unconditionally.
Unconditionally, yes, because they've taught me. Those children that cannot speak, they can recite, they can say La ilaha illallah, because I continuously pray the Quran for them, and that is the way, that it was my protection. They protect me, and I want to say shukran for Allah giving me them. And because when I come home at night, I rush to get to them, irrespective of my situation that I'm in. But at the end of the day, they shukr me by saying, by that smile that they give me. So yeah, Fatima and Fauzia and my other children, I love them to bits. My vision for Fatima and Fauzia is, because they're 4 years old and I see them being contestants for the Special Olympics, and because they are the only South African twins who have Down syndrome, I am appealing to all businesses and people who have the ability to donate towards their development, because it's not only going to be for Fatima and Fauzia, but it's going to be the little ones that is with them in that bracket, to support them so that they can be in a couple of years be the next contestants for Special Olympics. So I'm asking for the support of the communities and those businesses of South Africa, because these are twins, they come from South Africa, And there's other twins that are Down syndrome in other countries that are supporting their children that are Down syndrome. So I'm appealing to South African businesses to support the twins.
Thank you, Mymoena. Mymoena Williams, an extremely inspiring story. What actually shook me off the chair was the fact that, and all of you are probably sitting there saying that I'm more interested in these other guys that are sitting and making statements, but let me tell you why. I have a big concern, and the big concern is that challenges come, and Mymoena's accepted her challenge in life, and those are the acceptance of the children, and she even thanks the Almighty for giving those children. That's a bold step. I'm not sure how many of us, for me, for one, would be able to make such a statement. But what is concerning to me at this point is the fact that there's a group of people and a type of people, or a scourge of people sitting out there on the side that I see as a virus in life, sitting on the side, social oppressors that I call it, and commenting, how did you get children like this? I wouldn't sit with mad children. Like, really, for those people, I want to say, and use this opportunity and say, you really need to get a wake-up call, because you know what? We don't need people like you in society. We need people that's able to go there, embrace the challenges that are put onto mankind, and make sure that you make a difference. And you can make a difference. You can be one of those people that actually make a difference. And the way to make that difference is that number that I gave you early on, +2721 2000 602. Give us a call at the studio. We want you to support Mymoena and her children. They need the assistance. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.